Good afternoon, guys and girls. Shall we jump in? Right. Beautiful chart going on Bitcoin futures that we saw yesterday. Just enjoying the tunes. First things first. We're obviously going to concentrate on big boy BTC first. We are going to have a look at the stock market as well. Obviously, is Donald Trump having a day off? Never takes a day off, does he, that guy? Absolute scenes in the market yesterday. Big pump yesterday. We're going to have a look at where we've come from and where we can possibly go. What's up, guys and girls? All the OGs are in the chat. TS, Vadimixi, Sin, Victor, Swaps. Yup. Yeah, jump in the chat. Talk amongst yourselves while I talk shit. I'll try and give you as much data as I can on what we are all seeing. Yeah, really good day yesterday of trading. I think the market continues. I've been saying this for a long while. You all know me. You know I love trading a range anyway. But I think the trading conditions have been brilliant. I kind of knew that when Trump got back into power that the markets would be volatile again, and as traders you really need to appreciate that and enjoy it if you can. You know, I think it's a really good market to trade. Keep, you know, obviously I'm keeping other kind of biases out of there and what, you know, whatever the stock market's doing, you know, and however your spot bags are performing, but just as a pure trading environment, the volatility, the levels where you're hitting the levels that are getting respected, it's been very good, I do believe. All right, so what we're going to do today is usual menu for our aperitif before we dive in some deeper assets. Usual menu today. We're going to have a look at BTC, but first and foremost, I just wanted to bring you the Binance Futures chart once again, just to consider, obviously, because as we can see here, we did hit this supply at the end of the US session last night. Great area to take a little bit of profit, if you so wish, depending on how you're playing these moves. Okay, we hit a bit of supply yesterday. This was spot and perpetual supply, and big open interest rise. Obviously not too concerned about that. You're going to get these big open interest spikes in moves like this, but just wanted to bring to your attention now, we did hit some spot supply. That level up there just at 825 or whatever that was, that's being pulled now. But just very simply, aggregated book depth down at the bottom here. Okay, we are in supply, mainly from perpetuals and a little bit of spot, but spot are not chasing price down. They did their main selling yesterday at the end of the US into the Asian session, and they've just got lack of interest right here, right now. So we will go over that, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention straight away. If anybody's looking at this and saying, we'll go to a full window actually, if anybody's just looking at this now and saying, oh, why are we dropping? All the, you know, all the news is bullish, you know, nice CPI print today, tariffs are on pause, blah blah. Whatever news came yesterday, I think for me personally, I would just trade this as it comes. And what I mean by that is you shouldn't be getting bullish, particularly up here. You are at a slight resistance zone that we will have a look at in a second. For the TA nerds, I will just pull up TradingView in a second and show you some levels. But just wanted to bring this to your attention straight away. Okay, I still think you could possibly get a little rise up today. We do have some what we call liquidity gaps in the books, not so much on perps. Perps have filled quite a few orders up here already, you can see from this, but we do have some liquidity gaps up on the spot chart. So actually I might just have to flick back to that for you and show you the spot chart. Okay, so a couple of liquidity gaps a little bit higher. Okay, pockets in the order books, and again, just to stipulate, these are resting limit orders in the books. Okay, so not to say that market orders can't come in and swing price one way or another beyond these, but we often find that just within the order books, when we get these little OBC, order book changes, liquidity gaps, okay, no resting limit orders in these areas, they can potentially create a little bit of wick space. All right, so nice couple of areas just to acknowledge if we get another kick up in price action today, you could be in for a little bit of wick space over 82.5 and just under 83 for there. So just to bring that to your attention straight away. But let's just go to the full layout at the minute. Just nice clean chart. And what I want to just do is very quickly, because we all know where prices come from, but it's sometimes good just to give it a couple of minutes and review where we have come from, just to acknowledge where we can possibly go and put a picture on where we are now. That's always the way I like to, you know, have a look at price action. Where have we come from? What is price actually trying to do right now? And is it doing a good job of doing that, you know? Okay, so we've really pushed up. You could say that price potentially wants to push further up. Is it doing a good job of doing that right now? No, it's not, okay? So if you were just looking at straightforward candles on a chart, you'd be saying, holy shit, you know, we're not doing too good here, despite the fact it's only just coming into the US Open, yeah? But with us guys and within this console, obviously we've got all the data, we can see what's going on, okay? If some nerd is just looking at a TA chart on TradingView with a MACD and an RSI and all this shit, and they're seeing price falling, they're probably going to be thinking, what the hell's going on? You know, we've got all this bullish news, what's going on? Okay, we can see straight away we've got supply hitting price, okay? So where have we come from? Okay, the best chart to review at the minute, to be honest, is the perps chart, yeah? So a couple of days ago, we filled a lot of spot demand in these zones. It was always going to be that you didn't want to battle and be fighting shorts down here. It was a nice area to take profit on any shorts and look for a little bit of risk on long exposure, whether that's be for your spot portfolio or just for derivatives, yeah? Always the case, you know, when we're hitting these kind of levels, whatever your bias, it doesn't matter. You are now falling into a demand zone. We can see that. I think we hit upwards of 800 million aggregated, okay, spot and perpetuals aggregated book depth down here at these lows, yeah. So we consider lower levels. We always consider lower levels, especially when the market's selling off and Big DT in the White House is running his mouth about tariffs and 100% on that country and 200% on that country and China, and we're gonna oh god, I was gonna do an impression then. I won't do my Donald Trump impression anyway. So it was always the case that we wanted to run up, really, and even back on Tuesday's live session we're saying, oh, that'd be nice if we could just go and strike this 82k level. That'd be really good. The offers were quite aggressive on Tuesday's live session. It just sent us down a little bit, so really nice to see that. If anyone was playing that short on Tuesday, really well done. Back down into demand. Really strong demand again. And then yesterday's live session, if anyone caught yesterday's Discord live session hosted by DK, okay, brilliant live session, and sentiment really from DK and myself was that we need to run this a little bit higher. Liquidity remains a little bit higher, okay? Now, in the live session, or was it in the live session? Yeah, just towards the end of the live session, we did hit some selling, yeah? And we bounced back down. And I think I even commented in the Discord, I said, oh, God, yeah, I don't know about this. You know, it's one of those days again. Have we not got the juice to go up here and just get this high liquidity? You know, one of them days. I don't think we even saw the Donald Trump thing about buy the bottom, and, you know, you shouldn't be going by that anyway. Our bias was we're going to try and run price up a little bit higher. Now, then it was a couple, 2 or 3 hours, 3 hours into the US session. These guys started to come in on the perps chart, and this is, you don't want to take the other side of this, okay? If you're expecting lower and you have got shorts on for any reason, and you see this kind of signature come in, it's really a good idea to think about, okay, I'm going to just tighten up that risk. This is just what we call a send pattern. If you see this on perpetuals, on Bitcoin, or even on some of the higher assets, I've seen this kind of pattern on Sol before, even without Bitcoin, it just looks mint. So obviously we said, okay, holy shit, this is looking a lot better now. Really big fat orders. I didn't see what kind of Bitcoin price they were, I know the price obviously, but how many Bitcoin these were in for, but really good to see it. And the thing about these kind of resting limit orders is, okay, that now becomes your risk, yeah? So you want to place your, even if you're not in from these levels or these levels, if you're just purely a day trader, you don't know what's going on in the market, okay? And then, you know, you've got the OGs in the TRDR console like DK saying, yeah, I think we're going to have a little bit of an update today, guys, okay? You know, and then you see these guys and girls jump in with these limit orders. And this is the key for me, is because I always look at these resting limit orders, and they're definitely to be acknowledged, but I always like to see, like you got a couple of bands there, I always like to see the bid ratios, okay, that print on the chart here on top of these limit orders, okay, resting limit orders, or top levels as we call them. When you start to see the bid or ask on top of these orders as well, it's game over. Pretty much a really, really good win rate. Game over. We are going up, okay? So that's where we've come from. I think we all can acknowledge that. We came from good depth, okay? Whatever your sentiment was, we were in demand, we were in good depth, and we've rose up, okay? Let's have a look at what's going on now then. So yesterday, let me just read the chat quickly in case I'm missing anything. Yo, what's up, Max? Max says, I do like the charts right now. Dynamic bids coming back in with that kind of around. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So I think it's again, I keep saying this, and I will keep saying it as long as the order books are good. Like Max says, you're absolutely right, because it's a real traders environment at the minute. The last month or so, if you were just waking up, there's so many opportunities in the market for day traders at the minute. Whether you be a scalper or a day trader, the opportunities, especially with the data presented to us the way it is, yeah, exactly. Bitcoin coming down a little bit now. So that's where we've come from yesterday. I just wanted to highlight that in case anyone missed that. It was a really, really good day for it yesterday. And please, for anybody that got in those longs, really, 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 really good day. Then we rose up towards the end of the US session, started hitting a bit of pressure. Okay, we hit the first pressure there at just about 82.7. Then we put in just one more little tickle up in towards the Asian session at 83.5 there. Really, really nice. And then if anyone was trying to short this or get value, a little bit more value, if you're greedy like myself, very, very greedy, a little bit more value on those longs, then this level here at 84,330 became your basic invalidation if you were of the frame of mind that this is going to roll over, okay? So, and here we are now, right? So what I'm going to do is quickly, we can see the pressure from perps. There's not particularly much edge in some of the order books. I'll just have a look at, yeah, okay, CoinM are angry. For some reason, CoinM don't like Bitcoin at the minute, okay, so they are selling out. BitMEX tends to be, if you just look at the bottom here, I mean, you can pretty much do this. I concentrate on Binance Perps, I concentrate on Binance Spot, and I tend to like Coinbase Pro as well. Those guys and girls tend to be on the right side of the market. But it has to be said, if you're just looking at these charts, and then you can see CoinM here as well, which is Binance, obviously. Not sure what kind of volume CoinM actually does. I could do with separating that just to check for you, but I won't bore everyone right here, right now. But these guys, yeah, they're pretty angry. So, as I said right at the beginning of the stream, just wanted to establish that for you, that we are in supply, okay? Whether that means we nuke back down, okay, and just absolutely take out the Monday lows is to be considered, okay? But we need to find a bid, okay? If you are looking for continuation in the market, you want to reclaim this range, okay, which I'm not sure we can at the minute. I think it's back to business as usual. You've got to appreciate that daily and 4-hour charts, we're pretty much downtrending, and the 4-hour chart is down range, and this is a back test of that latest range. So technically the trading is absolutely on point at the minute, and here we go, we're moving down, okay? So let's call it as it is. I'm going to just show you the biggest levels, right? So just right here, right now, there's no real bid in the market, okay? Coinbase USDT have got a little bit of bid. In the books right now, there's no real bid in the order books. No one's really too fussed. I'm not going to call this a part pattern right now, even though we do get about 3 or 4 of those a year, okay? But just beginning of the stream, let's be clear, there's no follow-up bid in the market right now. Okay, give it half an hour or so, maybe you get some real strong market bid. E-mini futures, NASDAQ and everything maybe get some continuation. BTC gets a bid down here and away we go. But just looking at the biggest levels, like we have to do, okay, so a slight bid coming in here at 80, around the 80k level. Your next biggest demand zone really is down here at that 78k level. Where does that fall? It's just falling at the weekly open there. And you can see how, again, how technically nice Bitcoin is trading at the minute, which It always does, okay? It just always does. So yeah, above the monthly open, hitting supply, down, wick to the monthly open just at the beginning of the US session there, and down we go. A little bit of perps bid just coming in there, but yeah, 78k and your weekly open right there. I don't think, because of the recent volatility, I don't think I can have a look at volume. I don't think you're going to find too much edge, apart from to say, anyone who's familiar with the Volume King template knows exactly what I'm going to say now. And we hate the term, but it's an industry term. Retail traders are trying to get long at these highs in here. For the past 6 hours or so, retail traders are saying, yeah, we want this, we're going to go long. Are up here, and perpetuals are coming out the market, okay, and spot have already come out the market a little bit there. So just lower time frame, 15-minute. Yeah, I think a flush down to this weekly open, call that a bat pattern if you want, that'd be good, and that's probably where you're going to find your best bid. Okay, so volume, not too much edge, but just to say, I don't think this is an area you particularly want to long at all. If you're still in longs from down here, you're probably pretty safe at the minute. I would maybe just advise you to have already taken a little bit of profit. Something else we can look at is, I just want to have a look at, I'm not sure what the funding rate's at currently at the minute, 0.003, okay, not bad. So you can see the open interest rise there, and yeah, open interest is coming down a bit. We just saw that on the Volume King template. Let's just have a look at the deltas for all you delta geeks. I know everybody fucking loves a delta chart now, don't they? Yeah. Okay, so there you go. High spike in the open interest on the delta chart. If anybody needs this chart, give me a shout. I can share it with you, and I've got an alert for it there. As you can just see in the red there, that's my Delta King alert, showing me I've got a spike in high open interest, I've got a high spike in volume, and I've got a high spike in the supply side for the order book depth. Give me a shout if anybody needs that. This little wheel, mechanical wheel thing there, as we hit these supply alerts there. And what we got there was a BTC diamond. Okay, we got a BTC diamond alert, okay, short side alert, or take profit, that's how I always like to explain it, alert. And we actually got a double diamond up there as well, which is double ratio, so nice strong selling up there. But yeah, back to the charts. Yeah, slight bid here, some limit bids coming in here, but yeah, not too much, to be honest. I think it'd be better to get a rotation down and find some better demand. Just quickly then, shall we have a look at, before we dive into anything else, and how well is Fartcoin doing, and is Fartcoin going to become the world monetary hedge against recessionary risks? Let's just have a look at how the stock market is doing, and then we can look at other stuff as well. Just quickly, yeah, I think pre-market they were looking to be a little bit down, to be honest. I know Tesla and Nvidia was looking to be down a little bit pre-market. Stock heat map, I'm just going to show you now, was bright green just before I came on stream. I'm thinking it's grey to red. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I think it's business as usual. I'm not saying we're just going to gig and nuke everything and continue business as usual like the last couple of weeks has been. But tends to happen that after a certain Fartcoin has decoupled, yeah, hasn't it? I'll show you the Fartcoin chart. Do you know the Fartcoin chart is so nice on a 4 hour? It really, really is. I'm not gonna, say, look, we're, just gonna gig and nuke again, but my sentiment is, when we've had such volatility, okay, down, mega W pan up, you're sometimes in for a little bit of chop. You'll have heard me say that a million times, okay? You're sometimes in for a little bit of chop. You're not always going to get this straight big 1 hour, 4 hour candles, okay? Just quickly then, if anyone's missed it, that is where you are on the 4 hour chart. Okay, let me just get rid of that. And this is the way it's been playing for the last month or so, okay? So just quickly zoom out and zoom in. I won't bore everyone to death with this, but I think you just need to appreciate what's happening. You can get as bullish as you want, but what you've got to appreciate is the wider structure, yeah? So range, down, back test those range lows, down, another range, a shorter range, okay, take the highs, down, break down, back test again, back test this zone, and then this is why we're seeing some supply now, okay? Monthly open, daily open, right there. 1 hour chart, Yeah, a few things to consider. Obviously, this is just going to be our resistance zone up here, okay? 825.83. This is what we called as a resistance zone back on Tuesday. Took a little bit of time to get there. Nice little double bottom, whatever you want to call it, and up we go with Trump's tariff madness. Right, let's just have a look at what Altcoins doing then. Yeah, it's a brilliant chart. I said this weeks ago when it was back here in this range, the way it technically it tested this range zone, back tested this range, and then just absolutely sent. And then now you could say that Altcoin is actually presenting to you a potential good reversal and trend, you know. So if you can get Altcoin a little bit lower, I don't know, you know, it's certainly a volatile asset. So I think if you can just be a trend trader and just look for it to come back to value, you're probably going to do very well on it. It's certainly performing better than 99% of our meme coins, isn't it? All right, so yeah, keep an eye on that one. Even if you're just trading it, even if you're not spot invested in it, you know, just keep an eye on that one. Max says these kind of news-driven pumps allow get retrade. Yeah, and the thing is, you know, Bitcoin trades like a tech stock, obviously, doesn't it? But you know, I mean, stocks rallied like 14%, 15%, probably more on some of the lower cap stocks yesterday. What did we get out of Bitcoin? Yeah, and I mean, look, okay, 9% is huge, right? Especially if you're trading with volume. And I know that Altcoin was up at 43% yesterday, right? So these are really, really big moves. All I would say on Bitcoin is, and I'm not going to say we expected this, fuck the news, blah, blah, blah. But the signs were there, you know, the signs were there. So I hope everybody was on the right side of that trade. You know, I think we even looked at a couple of trades to hedge short positions yesterday, and they just got they got plowed through with the news, and that's why you have to manage risk. But again, you know, even BNB, you've got to be careful shorting assets like BNB. And what has to be said again is, you'll hear me say this a million times, when you see the levels pulled, you then have to make a decision to yourself. If your stops are above these levels, am I just going to let price stop me out? Or the levels pulled, am I just going to kill the trade? Okay, that's down to you as individuals and traders on how you want to execute that. But yeah, I think it was definitely worth looking at a couple of assets. You know, when you see them in supply, we never, you know, sentiment yesterday was, I think we're going to rise up on Bitcoin. We need to take that higher liquidity. But we never know, do we? We absolutely never know. The only thing you can fucking manage is your risk, and that is it. Everything else is down to price action, you know, and yeah, the news gives us volatility, really, doesn't it? I don't want to sound like one of them nerds on the internet that says, oh, well, it just presents volatility. It doesn't give direction, but it's kind of true, you know, really. You know, it has to be. It has to be. Max says, I think Tesla made 20% in one day, and it's quite, yeah, Tesla's, and Tesla's been at absolute value though, hasn't it? You know, I mean, I've been shilling Tesla for the last couple of weeks. I think it is a great asset, hence the little image down here of this rainbow-haired, blue-haired liberal woman with a Tesla logo on her chest and a cross over it. Are you mental, sweetheart? Absolutely fucking mental. They're burning all these Teslas, aren't they? And they probably don't realise that Tesla stock is part of their 401k. Absolute retardios. Anyway, let's not get political, people. It's a lovely trading YouTube stream. Okay, we're not at the old school. Oh god, I won't go into details. Anyway, right, let's move on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as Jayla says, it accelerates, and isn't it good that we get that? And I think, I mean, me personally, whatever your bias on Donald Trump, the markets traded brilliantly last time Trump was in power, you know, so it's just, unfortunately, markets don't like uncertainty, do they? We all know that. They don't, you know, stock market and stuff, they don't like uncertainty. But that uncertainty certainly presents us with, number one, opportunity. You know, as you've seen in the stock market recently, absolute giga nukes on the stock market, which is, for me, you know, opportunity. I said that on Sunday. I said that on Monday as well when I woke up. And I see Sky News reporting market crash, blah, 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 on Monday. and nothing happened. You know, it's just opportunity, isn't it? If you've got capital to deploy, you know. I hope everybody has. Right, so we are going off subject, talking shit. Let's have a look at what else is going on. So look, does that make it quite clear on Bitcoin? I hope it does. Not a lot to see here. Great day yesterday, great live session yesterday with DK, you know, giving everyone the layup shot that, you know, I think we need to move up here. And then with perpetuals coming in a little bit later on in the day for that confirmation. That's confirmation, guys. That's just absolute confirmation. And away you go. Even if you're just day trading that, get long, your risk is under here, bang, go to bed, have a good night, get some Netflix and chill going on. Have a good day. Wake up today and we look for fresh trades. So that's what we'll do now, okay? But I have to say, I hope that makes it a little bit clear on Bitcoin. I think your nearest demand zone is going to be back here at the weekly open, okay? And I need to see something a little bit special there to get a little bit more risk on to reclaim the range, okay? If we can't, then it's back to business as usual. This whole thing here is just a retest of the previous shorter range, and we're going to go down. And I hope finally, for me personally, I'm not bearish, okay? I don't want to sound bearish, but I hope we go and visit this 70, 71k level to pick up more value, okay? Let me just show you that 4-hour chart again, where we come from, okay? So just retest, okay? This is exactly what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Break down, back test, business as usual, tiny little range, back test down, okay? So that's what I've got in mind at the minute. Forgetting whatever's going on in the world, okay? And yes, it's going to give us volatility. Are we now back to business? Are we now back to business? This is our retest. This is now, we need to be looking at shorts, yeah? Okay, that's just my consideration. I wouldn't short Fartcoin though. That's all I would say. All right, but yeah, tiny bit of this. So you've got some limit orders coming in here, but there's not much bid on top of them. Okay, so not keen right here, right now. So we'll have a look at a couple of assets. We're going to have a look at the screener, okay? But please drop it in the chat if you've actually got any questions regarding the console, if you've been struggling with setting anything up, any alerts you've been struggling with, if there's anything you don't understand. We obviously have the docs page now, don't we? Okay, so if there's anything you don't understand, please jump in here, because the lads and the team have made an absolute winner of an addition to the console here with the docs page. So this now should be your first protocol. Obviously at the welcome page you've got those free courses there anyway, and the Art of Data Driven Market Analysis course, a little bit more in depth, that one, with access to the private Discord as well. But we've still got Bennett's courses on the videos as well, I believe. Yeah, Bennett's stuff, which is a little bit old now, but I have to say still very, very relevant, okay? So loads of free stuff in here, but please, you want to be jumping in here. If you've got any questions, dive in here. It should be your first port of call. And the reason I say that is because when you just educate yourself a little bit with what you are seeing in the OBD, in the, you know, order book changes, even just in the depth chart and stuff, you know, where is the liquidity? Does the liquidity lie above? Does it lie below? Where have we come from? Have we just hit a demand zone? Do we need to now, you know, is open interest low in the demand zone? You know, is it going to be easy to float price up? The more you educate yourself, and the better you have knowledge in the console, the better you can quickly and dynamically make good decisions, okay? Whether that's just trading or, you know, just investing in value for your spot portfolio, okay? You need to dive in there and get yourself some knowledge. What we're saying in the chat. Max says, do you think it's possible to rewrite a few things in the docs? I can't speak for the team. Obviously, the OG guys are DK and Shaquille. So if you just speak to those guys in one of the chats, Telegram or Discord. But yeah, certainly. And what I think DK said was that the docs page, it's going to be an ongoing process. It's always going to be added to, you know, definitely. The open interest aggregation part is quite hard to read. Okay, yeah. Yeah, just give, all I would say is give some constructive, not criticism, but just be constructive when you speak to the guys, you know. It's hard to read because of this and this, you know, whatever. And just, yeah, just speak to the guys. Yeah, definitely. Right, should we have, oh God, do we have to look at ETH? No, we don't really. We'll have a look at Soy Boy Salt. So Sol hitting some, I think this was actually, for me personally, this was a better short than BTC because you had a very, very aggressive top level on spot there as well. Let's have a look what Peps was doing. Not much from Peps, but yeah, spot traders on Sol were coming out of the market at 120, okay, and they've now dropped offers. So at the minute, I'm treating everything as a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a back test of some higher zones to grab some liquidity, and it looks a little bit like business as usual. Maybe for the rest of the week, you know, maybe we have a little bit of downside for the rest of the week. Certainly not bullish to see offers chasing down, okay, on assets like this. Go on then, let's have a look at Vitalik's coin. Yeah, bit of bid here. Don't really care. I wouldn't long this with your money. It's just a bit shit to trade. It's following. I mean, look, if you're still interested in a bit of spot ETH, then you're gonna see value here because it's at the same price it probably was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, something. I'm not sure, to be honest, but God, let's not get into it. Yeah, it's a bit of a shit chart, to be honest. The order books are okay, but just bear in mind it's still following BTC. I don't care about dominance or anything else. ETH is still following BTC. So if BTC bottoms and puts in some good alerts with some good demand, then you know that's when you want to be buying ETH, to be honest. It's just a bit of a shit chart. Okay. Sue has been pretty good. Big demand yesterday in the US session again, and a big spike up, so really good from that. Sonic, which is FTM, is another one I'm just watching. The order flow tends to drift off a little bit. It has been a bit shit over the last couple of days, especially on perps there, but we'll keep an eye on that one. LTC is another good one. Absolute Gucci balls long there from LTC, which was actually in the Asian session, so not one I caught. I was fast asleep, getting some beauty sleep. 3% away from its top level, so you needed to give it a little bit of room, but look at that. If you're wondering what they are there, that was basically an alt diamond alert. Okay, that's an alt diamond alert that just appears in your alert log, and it was actually a spot alt double bands as well on LTC. So 2 alerts and then 2 back here as well when you're in those demand zones. Okay, and that's how the alerts should work. I know it sounds very obvious, but the alerts just should alert you to the fact that something is happening in the chart. Okay, it's telling you that some data is getting hit that you've set up in your alerts. Okay, take a look at the charts. Maybe you want to get a bit of risk on here. Same with BTC last night. Even if you didn't short this zone for whatever reason, okay, I think it's definitely the case. If you're long from down here and you're just day trading, even if you do absolutely giga short this area, it's just a case of, okay, right, we're in supply now. I think I need to take a little bit of profit, yeah? Everyone's different, but if you're day trading, I would certainly just take a bit of profit up there, especially when you see these levels come in, drop under price, you know, about 6% away. Other coins we can look at, let's have a look at Illuminati, Lizard Coin, XRP. Yeah, big supply zone up there on XRP at $2. Nearest level is down here at 1.79. Nice demand zone again, similar time to LTC and probably a lot of the other coins as well. Nice demand zone on there on XRP. So I'm not really into trading or investing in XRP or anything, but I'm quite conscious that it's got a pretty good chart, considering that it's part of Donald Trump's basket now, hasn't it? Another one that I haven't got up there actually. Have I got Cardano in there? Because Cardano is oh yeah, I've got Cardano. That's all right. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. We've got Adder up there as well. Is yeah, Cardano. Other coins. So what's Fartcoin doing now? Yeah, the only thing about Fartcoin, the last time I liked the look of Fartcoin was actually back here on Monday. I thought it looked really good. Basically because you had 2. Ignoring all the green in here, you could have basically just looked at the top levels, the order blocks, okay? Really good order blocks there back on Monday, and absolutely up only. I mean, that one could have been a long that you had and just maybe held on to it. You'd have had to held through all this kind of chop, but that was the best trading edge I saw on Fartcoin in a long time, okay? So if you think this chart looks messy, it's because it does. The perpetuals market on Altcoin is very messy. All I can say is look for this kind of signature when you get those top levels there. All right, guys and girls. Okay, Cardano, another good chart. Look at that. Oh, Fauci alert, the good old Fauci alert, the OG Fauci alert. If anyone wants that, give me a shout. Double spot band ratios in there next to a top level Fauci alert on Cardano. If you're a bit of a Charlie Boy fan, I don't know why you would be, fucking retards. But if you're into Cardano and you think it's going to do well, yeah, get this order book open because it is quite nice. You know, and with that being said, I don't really give a shit what the asset is. If it's got a nice clean order book like this, then we're going to trade it, aren't we, you know? CRV doing very, very well. CRV always tends to be honest. It's a good performer, isn't it? Yeah, I'm quite bullish on CRV long term, I do have to say. Every time it comes down to these demand levels, you can see if you're just thinking about trading this on perpetuals because it moves well, that's one thing. The only thing I'd say is the alerts are pinging off all the time. It's constantly getting bid by spot. Do we find any edge in the perps market? No, not really. It can be a bit of a messy chart. It's well bid. You don't often see aggressive selling on CRV. I don't think. You'll sometimes get these levels in, these resting limit levels that will sell into the coin, but it's doing really, really well. It has to be said. DYDX, yeah, we'll have a look at it, but even before I load the chart, I can tell you right now the order books are a bit of a mess, and I'll tell you why the order books are a bit of a mess on DYDX, because no one trades it. It's not actively traded, and I'm saying that, and I bet the order books look good now, but I'm sure they don't. So let's have a look at spot first on DYDX. There you go. Okay, so this is what you call a messy order book. So we can have a look at DYDX on an actual higher time frame chart if you want. We can have a look at that certainly and see what it's, you know, what it's doing. But for an order book point of view, if you are purely trading perpetuals, don't touch this at all. There's no edge in it. For me personally, there's much better coins out there. If you compare, so I'm on a spot chart, so look at perps. Yeah, and perps is the same. The only, oh fucking hell, that was all right actually. So that's all right, but it did deviate below that level. Okay, so yeah, perps was okay. We can have a look at a higher time frame chart on DYDX, but that's, you know, if you're a fan of the coin and you think it's going to do well because the exchange is doing well or whatever, then fine. But this absolute puke fest mess of an order book, it's almost, I mean, look at all these little tiny, it's almost like the exchange or a market maker absolutely just holding price up. This is the only way I can explain it right now. I might be wrong. Someone might have to fact check me on this and put me right, but it's not actively traded. That's the way I see it. You know, you compare something like that to some of the other coins that are actively traded, like SU, you know, people in and out the market all day long, and then you get these big levels coming in. It's miles better to trade. That's all I would say. But if you're looking at DYDX just for the sake of structurally, you know, where is it? We'd have to have a look at a 4 hour or something, wouldn't we? Christmas tree, and then down to hell, sir. It is absolutely, you could be buying the bottom on this forever. Where does it end? I don't know. It's bloody horrible, unfortunately. I mean, you guys tell me, have they got something good going on? You know, it's obviously got more price history to it than Hype, hasn't it? I'm not going to try and compare the two, but Hype has had a drop, and it's quite a nice chart. This is, I don't know what to say on this. Obviously, I'm just on the daily at the minute. It's just downonly.com. It's breaking all structures completely. I mean, I would just do this on a daily chart and I'd go, for a kickoff, it needs to reclaim that. That's a rough guesstimate, but 86, because it's this previous level. The only way you can look at these charts is just, you know, look at a weekly and look at a daily and say, holy shit, what do we need to, you know, I mean, look at that. That's your weekly chart. So yeah, for a kickoff, that's good confluence there. You need to reclaim that 85.85 straight away. Then you've got a load of resistance there. It's got a lot of work to do. It's got a lot of work to do. That's the only thing I can do to if I was looking at, I don't know. And I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong, and this is the bottom. You know, maybe there's some nice bullish divergences down here in what looks to be the kind of like a 3 drive or something. But it's got a lot of work to do, hasn't it? Coins like this need to put in a bit of a range, and unfortunately, is it the next 100x? I don't think any alts are going to 100x ever again, apart from Fartcoin. I think you're going to struggle for set. I mean, there's always going to be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 alts that are going to 100x, 500x, and I'm not talking meme coins. But you know, people calling for alt seasons again, I think you need to learn how to trade and just be happy with the smaller percentages that we get day in, day out, because I don't think anyone's going to get a 2017 altcoin run again. We've just had a meme coin run, don't forget that. So we've had altcoin runs in the past. We've just had a meme coin run. I think there will be the odd pop and, you know, drop on coins, but an actual alt season, I think, is just a bullshit theory now, in my opinion. Yeah, DYDX, to summarize, I think it needs to accumulate. The best thing for this thing, because it's absolutely down only, and I'm not joking, it needs a bit of this, unfortunately. It needs to auction. It needs to auction and then go and then create a new trend. Until you get something like that, it's not happening, bruv. It's not happening, bruv. Yeah, we can have a look at hype actually. What we're saying. Hype, yeah, I love hype. Nelson, yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. I love the chart, to be honest, even though it's dropped. I think it's dropped to value. We can have a quick look at that. I think it's a brilliant platform. I think it's unfortunate it got a dirty attack. You know I like it because it's at the top of my watch list here. So you know I like it. Yeah, it's a good chart. Despite the fact it's down only, it's taken previous lows. That was our old range. It's down, and I think it needs to do a similar thing to other assets. Obviously now, it needs a little bit of an accumulation down here. So I don't think it's going to V-shape back up, although it could do. You know, this 10, 11, 12, even 12 region, if you're just looking at spot, is very, very nice. I quite like what I'm seeing on this 4-hour chart. If you've got good eyes like me, you could potentially see a head and shoulder. Where would that come in? It could come in just at that monthly VWAP there. So that could be a nice inverse head and shoulders. We know that altcoins like to do those. So actually, I'm just going to drop an alert for myself, excuse me, on here, because we don't have the data in the console at the minute, unfortunately. We will get it very, very soon when the guys put in their next batch of alts. I'm sure they will endeavour to put it in. But the only trouble is Hype hasn't got Binance Spot coverage yet, or Perpetuals coverage for some reason. I wonder why. So if Hype is just trading on some shitty central exchange where we don't get the data, then there's no point in adding it anyway. I hope that makes sense. So anyone calling for a coin to be added to the TRDR console, please check it's got some good data, and the best data comes from Binance Spot and Binance Peps. If it's got those two, the team will try and add it as quick as possibly. Okay. Yeah, I like Hype. Keep an eye out for it. Here, down here, let's do the old, let's pull the old range. Yeah, point of control on Hype right at this order block here. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. King of the castle. Right, you guys are just gonna have to bear with me while I just put this in. I don't know. I should have this as I should put it on here, shouldn't I? Bollocks. I need to do that. Stick with me. More offer to come. I won't save this as defaults now. Value area low. So yeah, maybe if it doesn't invert head and shoulder here, back to range lows, you know that $11 are your are your range, what are potentially, we're not exactly in a range yet, but are potentially your range lows on hype. So that could be quite nice on the old Hyperliquid coin. Very, very good coin. I think it's a good one to have on spot. It's a nice coin to trade. Okay, very, very technical. Even on this, does anyone remember this? Where we broke down the other week? I certainly do, because I was trying to bid that trend line like a cunt, and I didn't know what was going on, and we've been over that. Anyway, got stopped out. Real technically nice chart. Trend, break down, back test the trend, down. Really, really nice chart. So yeah, keep an eye on this one. It is a very good chart. Rude Soup, what we're looking at. ETH. Thoughts on ETH? Do you want to know my real thoughts, or do you just want to have a look at the charts and data? Do you want my real thoughts, or we can have a quick look at ETH on a chart if you want. Is ETH BTC still going down? Oh god, yeah, isn't it? ETH BTC looks like your DYDX chart. What am I on? ETH USDT. Oh god, it's disgusting, isn't it? If you've been shorting this in 2025, you've done really well. You've done really, really well. Oh my god. It's in a downtrend. That's all I can say. I think if I go to higher time frames, you're probably going to find some kind of confluence down there, but it's at the same price as it was in October 2023, if that helps you out, Rude Soup. I mean, god, this is just crikey. I was hopeful back here in March when I drew this massive range, and I was like, yeah, we've got this McDonald's pattern going on. But maybe we just hold these lows here. No, we're not. ETC, yeah, it probably does. Yeah, it probably does. Yeah. Yeah, the ETH chart is horrible. Horrible. That's a daily. I don't think I need to go high time frame. It's not even as if, oh god, it's just disgusting, isn't it? Look, I hope it does well. I do hope it does well. But that's fucking disgusting, and it also looks very, very scary. As in it could go a lot further, unfortunately, and I don't. I've got no bias one way or another. I don't care if it goes to zero. I don't care if ETH. I do actually, because it's, you know, better for the ecosystem if it goes up. But if you compare that weekly chart on ETH to BTC, BTC looks fucking great, right? There's no argument. Okay, if anyone says, oh, BTC's doing shit, BTC is doing exactly what it tends to do in a higher time frame trend. It looks brilliant, all right? And the lower, so BTC weekly is trending up, okay? Yeah, okay, we're trending down for the past few weeks here, but overall, if you look at a monthly and a weekly on BTC, it looks great. It's only when you go to the lower time frames there, you've got your range breakdown, okay? It's trading technically so nicely. Yeah, unfortunately, ETH, yeah, Vitalik needs to do something, doesn't he? He really needs to do something. He needs to get his Billy Big Balls out again, doesn't he? And well, for a kick-off, the devs need to stop selling, don't they? You see that now and again, don't you? On the X post timelines, don't you? Yeah, Rude Soup, I mean, look, and then if we just look at the chart here, like I said at the beginning, yeah, it looks shit. Now, with all that being said, the only thing I will stipulate, and each to their own here, this isn't advice, none of this stream is advice, all right? Do what you want. This is just for paper trading and entertainment purposes only. If the local taxman is watching and anybody else, look, you do what you want, but I don't think you're at a point on BTC or ETH or any of the altcoins that have nuked very, very hard to start selling and capitulating here. You know, it's kind of you bigger hands are probably, you know, bidding, to be honest. You know, maybe not right here right now, but we know we're getting a bid on BTC. We know we've got these levels here at 70k. You know, it was weeks and weeks and weeks ago we looked at the weekly chart on BTC and said, wouldn't it be nice if we can come down here? I think it might take a bit of time. You know, I think it was on a live stream. God, it was weeks ago, wasn't it? we drew this fib time. If anyone remembers, we drew the fib time and said, well, maybe it takes until, you know, maybe into May time on the fib time. We chop about, we come down here, we accumulate, we then get some kind of bounce, and that's the way it is. Things can take time, you know. They just do take time, don't they? Yeah, each to their own. I certainly wouldn't capitulate on something like ETH, you know, if you don't have to, and that should always be the way it should be. Do you have to sell? No. Well, why are you selling then? Just, you know, those spot, for me, you know, again, everyone's different, but those spot holdings, if you're in them, it should be for years, you know, if anything, you know, really. It's the way you should see it. So what's Bitcoin doing? Little bit of chop about here, isn't it? Look, Bitcoin's chopping about a little. There's not too much to see right here, right now. Look, give us a shout in the chat if there's any more altcoins we need to look at. I'm just going to quickly look at the screen and see if there's any absolute gems popping up. BTC dominance is taking over a bit, which is obvious because it will have been all day yesterday. So the perpetual screen are not showing me too much of interest. Some of the usual suspects in here. Let's just scroll down it a little bit. Is there anything in real good supply? Not really. Any nuked open interest? No. Any big spikes in open interest? Nothing. I think yesterday was the day, wasn't it, really? Funding rates, NKN, not too fussed about that. I think the Asian market still quite likes a little bit of NKN, don't they? Nothing stands out in the low funding rates, and I would never just trade off that anyway, to be honest. I always just trade off the bid ask and the price action. Jup is getting quite spot bid, but again, Jup always has a little bit of spot bid on it. I think it does quite well, doesn't it? Not sure what kind of rewards people get from using that in the old Sol ecosystem. One of the memes that has been at the top of the Binance spot bid over the last couple of days actually has been Boom, or Boom, Book of Memes. That's been up there. And I also noticed XTZ has been hanging around at the top of the spot bid as well for the last couple of weeks. Another chart just to show you that is a nice chart too, even if you're just trading it, okay, is Uni. Moves quite well, bit of a blue chip altcoin asset, and it does move very well. Very, very nice chart on Uni. But yeah, is there anything else out there we need to look at on the screen? I don't think there is. What volumes are doing good? Yeah, TRX volume has jumped up quite quickly over the last 24 hours. I know it's a bit of a stable coin. I don't know what Justin's up to, but it's been very, very bid recently. So if you do see any big spikes up in price action on TRX, you heard it here first. Go check the data yourself. I think I saw it yesterday. I wondered why. This is why the screener is so brilliant. I checked the data yesterday. I was like, I always like to see what kind of volume Pepe is doing, because I think Pepe is one of the best memes out there, obviously, and it's doing some of the top 24-hour volume in Binance for the last couple of weeks, to be honest, getting some good spot bid into the lows. But I saw this yesterday, TRX on the screen. I was like, what is he up to? What's Justin up to? And yeah, he's actually really, really bidding it up. But yeah, top obviously BTC, ETH, XRP, BNB, SU, Doge, TRX, Pepe, ADA, ENA, nice chart now and again. Actually, let's have a look at that one. It's the spot. Yeah, look at it. Yeah, it moves so well. Not really into this asset, but some of the lads in the chat have pointed it out to me a few times. Pep's chart is messy. Have a look at the spot chart. I think I need to add some alerts onto this one, to be honest. Very, very nice. Right, drop in the chat if there's anything you need us to look at. Altcoins, trade setups that have maybe failed, trade setups that have done really well for you, or if you've got anything you need me to go over quickly in the console, drop in the chat now or forever hold your peace. I think Fartcoin needs to come down again a little bit. Yeah, just back down to this zone, back down to trend, basically. It'd be nice to get it back down to trend a little bit. That's where your best risk reward would be on Fartcoin. If it can get down there, let's have a look what a couple of the others are doing. Render. Is the hat staying on for whiff? Not really. You have to be quite a sharp shooting sniper to get in on some of these trades on whiff. I don't think. I'm saying I don't think. I don't know if some of these memes are just going to die off. To be honest, I've already seen a few assets get delisted across markets. Pepe is a nice chart, to be honest, and does respect its top levels. So be aware of that when you get these top levels coming in, you don't always get the big selling overlays on them. But more often than not, it does actually respect the top level, so that's nice to see from a high volume meme coin like that. Right, let's have a look then. Let's summarize BTC. Yeah, LTC is a great chart. It's funny actually as well, because LTC is such a dinosaur coin now, isn't it? ETH. Yeah, not much to say. The perps market's dead on ETH as well. That's the only trouble. Sol. Yeah, I mean, I think if we get a bounce up today, I'd be looking at those liquidity pockets that we mentioned at the beginning of the stream, and then just to see if we fill any further supply upwards. And again, just to highlight the levels we've got currently, your biggest order block at the minute is just sitting down at that weekly open. Yeah, so look, drop in the chat. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll summarise, because it's quite nice and easy trading today. I think the best of the trades was yesterday. So even if you take a little bit of a day off today, okay, sit on your hands. Maybe you've made good profit yesterday up at this region. Maybe you just want to sit on your hands now and just wait for the better setups, whether that be down here or whether that's up here again, okay? Just please do that. Don't overtrade this zone, okay? What I would always say is don't overtrade, especially just after a big volatility spike like this, okay? Sometimes it's just better to just chill and wait for the best trades to just come and slap you in the face again. All right, guys? So look, hope everyone's had a good week so far. We will be live again tomorrow in the Discord with DK. Don't forget to go and check out the docs page, the free videos in the academy as well. I think we're in for a good end to the week of trade, and I think we'll probably get another setup on BTC before the week ends. It's normally, the way I call BTC at the minute, you normally get about two or three at the most really good day trade setups on BTC. And day trade, I mean you're holding the trade for a few hours or so, maybe even 24 hours. Really get some juice out the market at the minute on BTC and some of the higher assets. All right, guys, so look, have a good end to the week. Join us in the TRDR Discord, links below, I believe. I will double check that, okay? But join us in the TRDR Discord, because we'll be live at the same time yesterday to summarize the week as well. All right, guys, have a good one, and we will speak soon.